Welcome back to Cooking and Wine for Lovers. I am Melissa, your Chief Inspirational Officer, with my husband Kurt, your Chief Culinary Officer. And tonight we are doing experience number 16, Kurt's famous chicken pesto pasta with a beautiful Chardonnay.
All right, sweetheart, again, you have another beautiful dress I love seeing you in. So what's the story on this one?
Thank you, sweetheart. So this time I went shopping in my closet. Just went into my closet to find something I haven't worn for a while. And if I remember correctly, I probably bought this dress at a local department store here in Florida. But remember, you don't always have to go out and buy something new. Just shop in your closet, because more than likely you'll find something old that is new again.
And the whole idea is just to dress up and look nice for each other for the evening to make it your date night reinvented. And honey, you look gorgeous, and we're going to have a fun night.
Thank you, and I'm excited too.
All right, so tonight's wine for Cooking and Wine for Lovers is a Chardonnay from the winemaker Dow. And we love this Chardonnay because it's not super expensive. It tastes great. I think it's $17 in either liquor store or the grocery store. And you generally pair wine with a sauce. We're having a pesto tonight. So Melissa's going to read us all about it.
So this wine offers inviting aromas of lemon chiffon, ripe pineapples, hibiscus flower, and white peach. Notes of pina colada and warm buttered toast are accented by touches of nutmeg and clove. The mouthfeel is succulent and lively, displaying generous flavors of Grenache lemon, pineapple, sliced nectar, and vanilla bean. Impressions of hazelnut, Bostic pear, and honey round out the mid-palate, all leading to a crisp, clean finish that lingers with the essence of citrus zest and star jasmine.
All right, wait, cool, honey. The sommelier obviously had a lot of thoughts on this wine.
It's like a mouthful.
So they are definitely professionals. So Melissa's going to pour this wine into our very cool, we have our white label Cooking and Wine for Lovers glasses tonight. And once again, since this is a Chardonnay, we keep it in the regular refrigerator to keep it cold, because that's how I make this wine good. And this one we do not need to decant, so we're just pouring it straight out of the bottle. And thank you, babe. We're going to give this a try.
I'm excited.
All right, so we have this wine poured. We're excited. Now, the good thing about this is, so we tend to lean towards red wines mostly.
We do.
But a good Chardonnay, some Pinot Grigios are great. And I am living with a woman who was not really a Chardonnay girl till not too long ago, right?
A couple months ago. I never drank it before.
And I get her to keep trying it and keep trying it and keep trying it, because that's the way you learn to like wine. And
now I love it.
Now she's a Chardonnay girl. And Chardonnay is a great wine, especially for the summer when it's hot out. You don't always want a red. So this is an awesome wine. We're looking forward to it.
Cheers,
babe. And yes, it has a great flavor.
Very good.
It's going to go really well with our pasta with pesto chicken tonight.
Yes. So, honey, this is a really fun meal. Tell us what goes into it.
Yes, I'm excited. This is a fun meal. This is one of the very first things I learned to make and made it part of my chef's repertoire. But anyway, it looks like there's a lot of ingredients here, but this is really a really easy meal to make. So what it includes is a bag of these little mini pepperonis. We have 4 ounces of pesto sauce. Now, I made some homemade because we've been getting basil out the wazoo here in Florida, but you can buy a bunch of different ones in the store that are all pretty good. Then we're going to use a tablespoon of basil, a tablespoon of oregano, a tablespoon of garlic. Of course, we're going to use our Lowry's garlic salt. We have a whole bag of those sun-dried julienne-style tomatoes in the back. Then we're going to use a tablespoon or 2 of dried onion, of course, olive oil. We have 2 blocks of mozzarella cheese. We're going to cube 1 block, and then Melissa's going to shred the other. We have 6 cloves of garlic, and then we have 3 boxes of pasta. And we're trying to make this fun, so we have a box of fusilli, a box of bow ties, and a box of penne. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix them all together. We only really need 1 box, so you can have some leftovers, but it makes for a fun meal, and it helps the pesto adhere to the pasta for some great flavor. And of course, we have 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I'm going to dice up into little about 1-inch pieces. And then very lastly, we have 3 spring onions. They're going to cut it into 1-inch little pieces. And then we'll show you how to put this all together. And once again, it seems like a lot, but this is actually a really easy recipe to make. What do you think, babe?
I'm excited.
Okay, so this is the easy part and the fun part. We're going to take our box of fusilli, a big mixing bowl. We're going to take our box of bow ties, put it in the bowl. And then we're going to take our box of penne and put it in the bowl. And then all we're really going to do is mix this all up. Now that looks like an absolute ton of pasta, and we certainly don't need all that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a third of this, enough to fill one box, and that's what we're going to use for our dinner tonight. And the rest of this pasta you can put in a Ziploc bag, save it for later, use it for the next time. It's always fun when you have this mix. There used to be a company that made this in a box, and I haven't seen it for about 5 years, so I started making my own. So anyway, this is Try Pasta, and it's a lot of fun for our pasta with pesto tonight. So we are making Kurt's world-famous pasta with pesto and chicken. This is actually my mother's favorite recipe. Whenever I go to visit her, she always asks me to make this, and I usually make like 2 or 3 batches and freeze it for her because it's her favorite thing. And actually, quite frankly, it's one of my favorites as well. And this is the most complicated part of the meal, which really isn't even that hard. We're just going to saute some chicken. So we're going to start off with our olive oil, and we're going to put it in the pan. We need about 2 to 3 tablespoons. We want a good layer on the bottom, and then we're going to put in a tablespoon of dried basil.
Which is from your homemade garden.
That's true. I dried this myself. It's pretty cool. And then we're going to use the same thing, dried oregano, also from our garden, which makes life pretty cool. Save a ton of money on dried herbs. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mix that around, because what we want to do is we want the basil and the oregano to infuse in the olive oil. So kind of like we're cooking with basil, oregano, infused olive oil. So then we're going to start the heat to about medium heat. And we're going to add our chicken. And you can see I cut up the chicken to like little 1-inch pieces. We're going to put that in our pan. And then we're going to season this chicken very liberally with our famous garlic salt from Lawry's, which gives this chicken a ton of flavor. And then we're going to use our garlic powder. Once again, you're looking for about a tablespoon each of these herbs. It seems like it's too much, but it's not. And then we have our dried onion, and this we need about 2 tablespoons. And this is going to cook up in here and just make for some great flavor. So now what we're going to do with this now is we're going to let this chicken start to cook. We're going to get it till it's cooked through and no longer pink. And then the rest of this meal is actually really easy. All right, so we always say at some point you need to make sure the wine is still good. And it is, but as always, don't drink too much before the meal's over. Enjoy the time with your loved one and everything we're doing. We're having fun, aren't we, honey?
We are.
Okay, so if you look at this chicken, the chicken is about done. Just kind of a little bit of brown edges. And the cool part is all those little onion flakes get kind of crunchy. So once this is all done, we're going to take this out of the pan, and we're going to put it on a different plate than we had the raw chicken. Make sure you do that for safety's sake. And then while we were cooking our chicken, we have a pot of water that we're boiling for the pasta. And as soon as it boils, we're going to put our pasta in. We're going to cook it according to directions. Usually for these type of pastas, about 11 minutes. We're going to drain it, and then we're going to put this meal together and show you how easy it is, and then we're going to eat. And I'm hungry, honey.
It smells wonderful.
As always. I know I always say that, but it does smell great. All right, so I said this recipe was easy, and it really is. This is the fun part. We have our Try Pasta that we cooked and drained in the sink, and it looks great. We have a big mixing bowl, and then what we're going to do, the first thing we do is we're going to put our chicken in here. Make sure we get all the juice in there. A little olive oil makes this really good. And this is the fun part. We're going to toss this pasta a whole bunch. Okay, so we have the chicken. Then we're going to put our pesto in there. And whether you use your homemade pesto or store-bought, it works good. All right. And then we're going to mix that up. There's nothing like pesto. All right, then one thing we almost forgot in the ingredients, because it's in the freezer, is we have 1 box of frozen chopped spinach. And we've tried fresh spinach before, which normally in most things is good, but for some reason the frozen spinach works really well in this. You cook it according to directions. Make sure you pat it really dry so it's not full of water, and we're going to put that in here. Mix that up. Get it all stirred around. We have the 6 garlic cloves that I pressed. We're going to put that in here. Mix that around. We have our bag of sun-dried tomatoes. Just dump that in there. Mix it around. Look how pretty that looks. Adds some color, makes it look nice. And the flavor of the sun-dried tomatoes is excellent. Then we have our bag of mini pepperonis. We're just going to dump that in there. And who doesn't like pepperoni? Ah, man, that looks so yummy, doesn't it, honey? Oops. Make sure the thing's not in there. All right, and then Melissa shredded one of those 8-ounce blocks of mozzarella. We're going to put that in here. Mix that up. And it's nice to have a big bowl like this when you're mixing this. We're going to transfer it to a smaller bowl for the oven, but having a big bowl like this makes it so you can mix it up without being so messy. And then we're going to take the other block of cheese, which I diced into little like sort of half-inch pieces. We're going to put that in there. Mix that up. And the very last thing is we have the 3 spring onions that I showed you. I cut those up into little tiny little pieces. We're going to put the spring onions in there. Mix that all up. And then we have what looks like an unbelievable pasta. We're going to transfer this pasta into a beautiful ceramic bowl that my son got us for Christmas. I'm not going to show you that on camera because it's messy and be careful. But then we're going to put it in the oven at 325 degrees for 15 minutes. Let all the flavors fuse, and then it's done, and then we're going to have dinner. And it's going to be super yummy. All right, so our pasta with pesto is cooked in the oven at 325 for exactly 15 minutes. And we have it in our beautiful little La Crochet bowl that our son got us. And now Melissa's going to plate this up, put a couple scoopfuls in each bowl. And we always say how
delicious.
And we always say how good it smells. And this is just an amazing recipe that I just came up with out of the blue about 15 years ago, and it's just a bunch of flavors that mixed together are just fabulous. And really, it's not that hard to make. And now Melissa's going to be the Parmesan queen, and she has our block of Parmesan and our little cheese grater, and she's going to grate that on top because that makes it so good. And we used to use the store-bought stuff, but like I said before, this is just 8 gazillion times better.
Voila!
And look at that.
Dinner is served.
All right, so we're going to have dinner and then finish this off, and it's going to be awesome.
So, sweetheart, this has been a fun evening. I so much enjoyed cooking.
I know. It's always so much fun to cook together, honey. And we're going to have a great meal. We had fun together tonight. That's the whole point of Cooking and Wine for Lovers, is spending the night together. We have no distractions.
Right.
There's no kids. There's no TV. There's no cell phones.
Nothing.
It's just the two of us. We're dressed nice. You look gorgeous as always.
Yeah.
And the best part is we're going to have this great meal. We're going to finish our wine.
We are.
And then we've become slightly addicted to the Suits show on Netflix. So after our meal, we're going to go in and see what Harvey and Mike are up to.
We are.
And snuggle up on the couch together, and just, it's a beautiful night. And every time we do this, we fall more in love. Honey,
we
babe?
do. We
okay,
do. Absolutely.
Cool. All right.
So remember, guys, the couples that cook together and drink wine together stay together.
For sure. Thanks
Bye-bye.
for coming along. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.